to Let's Play Gran Turismo 2, episode 51. Alrighty then. 2 sections of the arcade mode are down and still 5 sections remain, and also to anyone who is probably questioning me, I do apologise if I forgot to mention this previously, but the modes we unlock, of course, as you can see up there it says obtain licenses in GT mode to access all courses. That essentially means, of course, that you basically have to complete all of the licenses in order to access all of the courses. So I previously completed the science section, which is what you unlock from completing the B license, and now we are going to get on with the blue section, which we unlock from completing the A license. So heading up to single player road race, and obviously difficult because well, I'm a cool kid like that, and well, I'm gonna try to see if I can use something else. Fuck it, I'll use the Fiat. And as for the colour, well, what the hell. As it is now time for us to head over to our first course of the blue section, which is Red Rock Valley. Okay, so attempt number 2 at this race, because what I have learned, of course, from that event is that I cannot afford any fucking mistakes whatsoever in any part of the course, because that is the perfect opportunity for me to lose. And so this is now attempt number 2 at Red Rock Valley, driving my Fiat Coupe, hoping the S2K does not start on the front row. And thankfully, at least, the S2K is actually not in this race. So attempt number 2 at Red Rock Valley in my blue Fiat Coupe, and I'm deeply hoping this will be where I get the W. Because, god damn it, that S2000 is fast. As the Delta has already dropped behind, and I am already up into 3rd position ahead of both the Merc and the Beamer, as the Altezza tries to force me into the grass, but I ain't having it. And I am already 1.1 seconds behind the Plymouth, as I shift down into 3rd this time, and surprisingly, that time it was actually beneficial for me to shift down into 3rd gear, because I actually managed to get through the corner this time without going off track, as I am now on the inside of the Plymouth, and I have now taken the lead at Red Rock Valley, driving my Fiat Coupe in this basic combination of an oval course and a road course, or as NASCAR would call it, a roval. A combination of an oval course and a road course, basically, as I am now already up into the lead. On this, my 2nd attempt at Red Rock Valley, hoping this time to secure victory and not metaphorically fuck myself on the last lap, as that is precisely what the Plymouth does whilst he's up high on the bankings. I should not have done that, but at least it keeps me out. Of the gravel trap on that corner exit, and that of course could have easily been hugely costly if I did anything further than that. But meanwhile, at the present time, I'm still leading. It looks like it's currently the Beamer that's in second, although it could be the Merc, from what I could tell. But as for the Plymouth, who was pretty much in second place for the first part of this race, he's fallen back. And I think he's fallen back to third, but he could still get second, even though he probably won't. But anyways, on only my second attempt at Red Rock Valley, I have won with the Fiat Coupe Turbo Plus. Even though it's just a coupe, but yeah. So, it took me 2 attempts, but I got there eventually by the default of not seeing the S2K. So I won by a second ahead of the Mercedes CLK 320, then it was the Plymouth in third, followed by the Beamer in fourth, then it was the Altezza in fifth, and at the back it was the Lancia Delta HF Integrale. After race number 1 of the blue section. And I would say the car I used with its colour, it was very suitable to the occasion. But anyways, 1 race down, 2 to go. As of which, I'm now going to head up to Class A for this next event, and the car I'm going to use is a Lotus Elise. And as for the colour, well, I've already got a purple Lotus, and that is obviously the Esprit, and well, I think for the colour of this one, oh, well, fuck it, I'll drive it in white. Because I want to. As we now head over to Seattle for our second race of the blue section. Okay, so I don't think the Elise is going to work. So I think instead of using the Elise, I'm going to use the Cobra. And now, as for the colour, fuck it. I'll drive this thing in red. Even though this is a car I've already driven, but fuck it. This is officially the car I'm now using for race 2. Since I have noticed the Elise can become very loose, and obviously I don't think I will officially have the control to yield the car for this particular sort of circuit, because what I learned from the Elise, very loose, basically what I learned, as it's already taken me 2 failed attempts to try and succeed with this one, as I just hit the wall. And hopefully this time I might be able to do it, because I have a car that is heavier, and hopefully at the very least it will be a little bit easier for me to control than the Elise was. Because god damn it, that Elise was just so fucking loose. It was literally just like I was driving on ice. It was literally that loose. I just cannot control the car, even if I was wanting to. That was literally how fucking worse off I was with the Elise. Also, as for vehicle damage, I do not have that installed. Because, well, I have a feeling I'll probably be crashing a lot, and plus furthermore, vehicle damage probably won't help me out that much, because I'm not that professional. And even if I was professional, I would probably be better off without vehicle damage than I would be with vehicle damage. As I am braking a little bit too early for the hairpin, but at the very least, I do manage to maintain control of my automobile. This car managing to actually stay under control, and also have the acceleration to stay out in front. And also, if it's possible, yes, I will try to see if I can win a race with the... I will try to see if I can win a race using the Lotus Elise before the end of arcade mode, if I feel like it. As I'm braking reasonably for the corner and already managing to hook myself through these chicanes. So got a little oversteer there, but still managing to control the car regardless, and across the line I go. It is victory in Seattle after 2 failed attempts, attempting to do it with the Elise. So I won that event in the end by just under 8/10 ahead of the FD. Then it was the Corvette in 3rd, the Legacy Sedan was 4th, followed by the Elise in 5th, and the Tommy Kyra ZZS finished in last. So, 2 races down, and still 1 to go. Can we succeed on our first attempt? Because I am now going to introduce to you the highest class of cars in arcade mode, and that is Class S, the Super Sports Car Class. The Super Sports Car Class. Sorry, I almost said Clash. And we've got some pretty reasonable cars here, as we said, but I think for the first race I shall use the Aston Martin Vantage, just because I want to. Also because, well, yeah, now is the singing green. As we now head up to our third and final track of the blue section, which is the Rome circuit. I do not think the Aston Martin V8 Vantage is going to work for Rome. So, I thought about using this car. I gave it 2 attempts, but god damn it. These AI just literally want to fucking murder me with this car. They just literally want to fucking murder me. And that's essentially what they did on both attempts. So again, this is a car I will probably use later on, but not this time. So yeah, so I will use this car eventually, but just not on this particular circuit. And well, already used a Dodge Viper in the game so far, and I don't think the Clio would really help, so I'm going to head over to Venturi instead, which is basically the French homologation of Ferrari. And yeah, why not? I'll drive in it. Yeah. Fuck it, why not? And so, let's try this again, except this time, hopefully, we shall have more of a threshold on the car itself, as well as on his AI, and fuck me, we have got a Shelby Cobra Coupe in this event. Yeah, it's that Cobra. We have a TBR Tuscan in this event, a Vector M12, along with a Lister Storm, and already at the moment it looks like I'm off to a much better start than I was with the Aston, as I'm already up into the second position, driving my Venturi Atlantique 600 GT. Which, as I said before, is basically the French homologation of Ferrari, pretty much. Surprisingly, I am basically driving a race car, and competing against a race car, which is that Shelby Cobra Coupe, which realistically is the Shelby Cobra Daytona. Yeah, the same one. Yeah, pretty much the same one that placed second in the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1964, only to Ferrari. And I think at the same time it also won the 24 Hours of Daytona, as far as I can recall as well, but, well, truth is, I don't know my history when it comes to race cars. But surprisingly, this race car is actually helping me, and surprisingly for once, it's actually keeping itself under control, and for once, it's doing everything I actually want it to do. Also because, well, Venturi is another manufacturer I have not been to yet. And so I figured now, of course, would essentially be the perfect opportunity. As it looks like the Vector M12, I think, unless that's the Lister Storm, is currently fighting, or was fighting, the Cobra Daytona for second place. Meanwhile, I am up at the front in my Venturi. Very much what I can probably say is my French Ferrari at the front, leaning green, hoping that this time I shall achieve success. So, after two failed attempts of attempting to control the V8 Vantage, I ultimately decided to use the Venturi Atlantique, and as a result of that, it has got me into the victory lane ahead of what I think was the Lister Storm. And indeed it was the Lister Storm. That was second, followed by the Shelby Cobra Daytona, which was the only actual race car in this event. It was, correction, 400 GT. Venturi Atlantique 400 GT is what I was driving. Whilst my fellow one was in fourth, the TBR Tuscan Speed 6 eventually wound up in fifth, and at the back it was the Jag XKR Coupe. So there we go. Took me two failed attempts like it did with Seattle, but I got there eventually, and now we can officially show off the rally course. the rally course we are showing off now is Green Forest Roadway. So, heading down to rally, and as for what car I'm going to use this time, well, I'm going to do these by order of power caps, and so the next one I'm going to use is basically this Celica GT4 rally car, as we are now going to Green Forest Roadway for 2 laps. Also, furthermore, I really do love these shots on the loading screen of the cars that we drive in arcade mode, so you know, that's actually a pretty cool feature in my opinion. And furthermore, I really do like that feature. I really do. It's a very cool feature. My honest opinion. As I am here, of course, at Green Forest Roadway, pretty much doing the same as I have been doing for the other 2 timed laps on the dirt courses. Just basically doing 2 laps and then just pretty much concluding the segment afterwards. And oh crap. And I need to remember to not shift down into first gear, because perhaps it might be first gear is very short. Also, I have just discovered it is very short. Stepping on the brakes to avoid losing control of the fucking Celica, as effectively overall this is basically very much like the one I have, even though obviously I'm going to estimate this one is a 95 model and well, my one is a 91 model. Already, I just made my first mistake on that lap. I clearly fucked myself. So that happened. As I am trying my hardest to put myself back in front of my ghost and not make the same mistake I made previously. Hopefully I will not. And stepping on the brakes early, just so I do not touch the wall this time. And I am already 1.6 seconds ahead of my ghost as a result of not crashing this time, fortunately. And the reason why I like to show off these rally tracks, well, because I'm cool like that. Also, furthermore, 3.8 seconds quicker than my previous PB. So, you know, that's cool. And so, there we are. And so now, the blue section of the arcade mode is now complete. As next up is the purple section of arcade mode, and where we will not just be doing a dirt course, but we shall be doing a tarmac course as well. And so that was the blue section of arcade mode. Next up is the purple section of arcade mode. Stay tuned for more GT2.